So this weekend, the Oklahoma Sooners take on the Baylor Bears in what may be the most impactful game of their season thus far. Sure, the Sooners play in a rivalry game every single year in the Red River rivalry, but this game right here has the deepest playoff implications of any they have played in the 2021 campaign. Baylor, coming in at number 13, would love nothing more than to take a game away from the undefeated Sooners and move that record to 9-1. However, the Sooners know how much this game means, and because of that, we've got to break it all down. Before we do, as always, y'all know the drill. I want to hear from you. So hop down to the comments. Give me a Y for yes, N for no. Do you believe that the Oklahoma Sooners are going to show out this Saturday against Baylor and have a very impressive performance? Let me know what you're thinking. If you are new to the channel, be sure to subscribe. Hit that bell notification. I do constant college football content. You don't want to miss any of it. And if you enjoyed this content, be sure to like and comment down below. Those interactions, though they're small, are really massive to content creators such as myself in both getting picked up and maintained by the YouTube algorithm. But with all of that being said, let's hop straight into this because the Oklahoma Sooners take on a very meaningful task this weekend, and it comes at a perfect time, down the stretch at the latter portion of your season. Because we always talk about in sports and really in life in general, it's not about how you start, it's about how you finish. The Sooners would assuredly love to have played some ranked teams at the early onset of their schedule, but even though they didn't, it's not that big of a deal when you look at the latter portion of their schedule. Baylor this week, and then the remaining two games being Iowa State and Oklahoma State, that's going to be a tough outing for the Sooners, and one that if they win out, should vault them into contention of the college football playoffs, or at least I don't see how it possibly couldn't. But let's focus in on the game against Baylor, because this game comes in a perfect time for the Sooners. Baylor's coming off of a loss to TCU, so you know they're going to be coming out with a fire trying to take away the undefeated season that the Oklahoma Sooners have had thus far. On the flip side, Oklahoma's coming off of a bye week, and that was much needed. The Sooners had 9 straight games, and even though they went undefeated, it didn't come without its costs. Injuries had been adding up, and so coming into this game, the most difficult portion of your schedule, it is awesome that the Sooners had a bye week right before they dipped their toes into that portion of the season. Letting guys get back healthy, getting guys some rest should pay massive dividends. Multiple individuals on that Sooners defense may be able to get healthy, come back and help the Sooners, which is exactly what they need. But as this game currently sits, we're looking at Baylor coming in with the number 57 defense in the country, but the 20th ranked offense in the country relative to Oklahoma's 63rd ranked defense, but 11th ranked offense. And me personally, the matchup I have been so excited for all year long, and I'm going to be excited for it as long as I get it, is Dave Aranda versus Lincoln Riley. Dave Aranda is someone I have a tremendous amount of respect for. Even though he came from LSU, he was synonymous with defensive back success while at LSU and helped LSU become synonymous with that very claim, being DBU. Now that Dave Aranda is at Baylor, it's going to take him some time to get the program where he would ultimately like it to be, but what we cannot deny is that he has had a really solid start to his Baylor career. A win against Oklahoma would be the biggest win he's had at Baylor and would be a massive way to close out the ending portion of the 2021 campaign. What a way to end it on a high, and especially coming off of a week where you took a loss to TCU, where many were looking at that game thinking that Baylor would absolutely handle TCU. TCU being a quality football team, but having a lot up in the air with the firing of Gary Patterson. TCU came out to play, and because of that, Oklahoma needs to be cognizant that Baylor's going to come out with a fire. You know, we talk all the time, when you're a program such as Ohio State, Georgia, Alabama, Oklahoma, USC, you're always going to get the other team's best. But amplify that when that team is coming off of a loss that they probably feel like they shouldn't have taken, and now you know this team is going to be ultra inspired to play. So for Oklahoma, what are the keys to victory against Baylor? And if we're talking Oklahoma's defense against Baylor's offense, there's a few things. First and foremost, you have got to stop the run because Baylor has had a lot of success running the football. In fact, Smith has over 1,000 yards on the season and is averaging 7.3 yards per carry. So almost a first down down every time he touches the ball. So when you have a running back that allows you to be in a manageable down and distance, a quarterback that is averaging 8.8 yards per throw, and also can be mobile if he needs, it really allows the offense to maintain flexibility. Which is why I say, for Oklahoma, stopping the run is going to be priority number one, because in my opinion, it will take away everything else Baylor wants to do. If they can't establish the run, they're going to have a much harder time establishing anything else with any sort of continuity. But what about on the flip side? Baylor's defense against Oklahoma's offense, because I kicked off this video saying one of the things I'm most excited about is the duel between Aranda and Lincoln Riley, and that's where it's going to be. Lincoln Riley's offense against Dave Aranda's defense. So what about that? Well, for Oklahoma, your offense has really caught fire with the emergence of the run game that started to show signs of life against Kansas State. However, when you supplement a quarterback with the mobility of Caleb Williams, it takes pressure off of everyone. It takes pressure off of the offensive line, it takes pressure off of the running back, and especially when he's able to move as effectively as he is. That's only amplified when he's able to hit the downfield shots the way he has been able to do. Because now it's not just a quarterback that can affect you with his legs, he can actually hurt you with his arm. So Caleb Williams is a difficult individual to stop, and Baylor is going to be doing everything they can to mitigate him first and foremost. But even outside of Caleb Williams, let's pretend for the sake of this conversation that Baylor is able to mitigate Caleb Williams. Well, now you still have to worry about Eric Gray, Kennedy Brooks, and Marcus Major, three very talented running backs who I believe we will see a lot of in this game. At the end of the day, it's going to be very interesting to see how a true freshman quarterback handles Dave Aranda's secondary. Dave Aranda has some really cool looks out the secondary, and he's going to be doing some things to try and confuse the young quarterback. So it's really going to be cool to see this chess match that's taking place. Lincoln Riley trying to make everything clear for Caleb Williams, who's been fantastic so far. But Dave Aranda standing on the other side doing everything he can to muddy the waters, to make it unclear and to create chaos. This is one that we have got to watch. This is going to have some really cool matchups in it, and I can't wait to hear what y'all are thinking. That's it. See ya.